Hey YouTube! Recently I did a few videos showing the unboxing of two Chibsons that I recently purchased from Aliexpress. I then did two more videos showing the upgrading of the pickups and the pots of those guitars. One of those guitars was a black custom Chibson, and what I'm doing today is comparing that Chibson to a real Les Paul custom. So let's get started. So the first thing I would say here is that the finish on both guitars is excellent, but the Chibson really is flawless. And that's pretty remarkable considering that it cost $200. As far as the hardware, the Gibson has the standard Gibson bridge. Over here on the Chibson, it's very similar, except it does have the screw-down Epiphone type bridge. Both come with speed knobs. I did replace the pots on the Chibson. They were absolutely awful, and now they're pretty good. I use CTS pots. The stock pickups in the Gibson are excellent. In the neck you have a 490R, and in the bridge it's a 490AT. The stock pickups in the Chibson were awful, but I replaced them with Dragonfire vintage pickups, and it made a huge difference. It sounds great now. The fingerboard on the real Gibson is Richlight, which feels and plays like ebony. The fingerboard on the Chibson is rosewood, and I'm not sure if the camera will pick this up, but I did ebonize it using Minwax ebony stain, and it did a pretty good job. As far as the thickness of the bodies, they are identical. As far as the binding on the Chibson on the right, it's much thicker. However, I do have to say that the binding on the Chibson is done pretty well. And as you can see here on the real Gibson, the ends of the frets have those little tangs on them. As you can see here on the Chibson, they do not have little plastic ends on the frets. And by the way, just for the record, I did put a piece of tape over the logo on the Chibson, just so that there's no confusion which guitar I'm talking about. Obviously the Chibson's on the right, and the real Les Paul Custom is on the left. As you can see here, the one detail that the Chibson really got wrong was the design under the logo. It's much smaller than the real one, and it's pretty obvious. On the real Gibson here, the tuners are Grovers, and they work really great. The stock tuners on the Chibson are okay, they work fine. I'll probably keep them for now, but they're not the same quality. As far as a final conclusion and a comparison between the two, I don't think that Chibsons are a replacement or a substitute for a real Gibson. If you're really good at wiring and you know how to solder and you're willing to put in new pickups and new pots, I think Chibsons are great project guitars. You can gig with them. The feel and the playability is similar to a real Les Paul, but it's not quite the same, and obviously for $200 or under $300, you shouldn't expect it to be, but they are pretty remarkable for the money. So that's it guys, just a quick comparison video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe, and I'll be back soon. See ya.